Hey everybody, it's Ron, and I want to tell you a story about business and how that story changed everything. It's dark. The train's moving fast enough that the wind stings your face. Snow's starting to fall. The tracks up ahead are slick. And here's the thing. You're not in the train. You're not even in the engine. You're on top of the train. In 1867, that's what braking looks like. If the engineer needed to slow the train down, there's no single system that stops every car at once. Instead, brakemen climb out of the cab, scramble up iron ladders, and run across the roofs of moving rail cars. One by one, they turned hand wheels to tighten wooden brakes against steel wheels. Every car has to be adjusted manually. Miss one, and the train bunches violently. Turn too late, and the cars derail. Slip in bad weather, and you fall beneath the wheels. Railroads are already carrying grain from the Midwest, coal from Pennsylvania, lumber from Michigan. American commerce depends on those trains. But every added car increases the danger. Every increase in speed magnifies the risk. You can't move more freight than you can safely stop. So what happens when the limit on growth is not demand, not engines, but braking? What happens when the ceiling on commerce is human balance on a moving rail car? And what changes when, on March 5th, 1868, a young inventor receives a patent that lets every car stop at the same time? From Business Basics, I'm Ron Trucks, and this is Business History, the daily podcast where we explain the stories that changed business forever. Every day to the calendar has a story where business reshaped the world. Today, March 5th, that story takes us to 1868, the patent that let trains grow. By the late 1860s, railroads were already reshaping American commerce. The Pennsylvania Railroad was hauling coal and manufactured goods across the Northeast. The New York Central Railroad linked the Great Lakes to Atlantic ports. Grain from the Midwest fed eastern cities by rail. But stopping those trains was still a manual process. When an engineer signaled to slow down, several brakemen were positioned along the length of the train. Each one had to scramble across moving car roofs to tighten handbrakes. On steep grades, especially in the Allegheny Mountains of Pennsylvania, the risk really multiplied. A delayed response could mean cars slamming together. A missed signal could mean derailment. A slip? That could mean death. Railroad work was among the most dangerous jobs in America. In the decades after the Civil War, thousands of railroad workers were injured or killed annually, with brakemen facing some of the highest fatality rates. Executives, they understood the math. Longer trains meant more revenue per trip, but longer trains also meant more coordination risk, higher insurance exposure, and greater legal liability. Engines were improving, demand was climbing, but braking still depended on men running across steel in the dark, and that reality quietly limited what railroads were willing to attempt. A young man by the name of George Westinghouse, who operated out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, believed the braking problem was not a human inevitability. It was a design flaw. In 1867 and 1868, he began experimenting in Pittsburgh with a system that used compressed air to apply brakes across every car simultaneously. Instead of relying on scattered men turning wheels one by one, the engineer could trigger a coordinated response down the entire train. Now, that idea may have been simple, but the proof required repetition. Within a year of receiving his patent on March 5, 1868, Westinghouse and railroad partners conducted multiple demonstrations over the year of 1869, including trials in western Pennsylvania, on steep rail lines operated by the Pennsylvania Railroad. Those grades of the track, they were unforgiving. If coordinated braking failed there, it would fail everywhere. The tests weren't theatrical, they were methodical. Train length, speed, weather conditions all became variables that needed to be evaluated. Could the system apply evenly? Could it release reliably? Could it function after repeated use? Railroad executives watched pretty carefully. Retrofitting equipment required capital. Trusting new technology required confidence, and if the air brake failed under load, the consequences would be immediate and public. But over time, the results became harder to dismiss. Demonstration by demonstration, the case shifted from possibility to practicality. The question was no longer whether simultaneous braking could work, it was whether a railroad could afford to operate without it. Railroads that installed those air brakes that were patented by George Westinghouse, they gained tangible advantages. They could operate longer trains with greater confidence, and they reduced the need for men sprinting across car roofs. They improved reliability in mountain terrain and especially in harsh weather. And you know what? Insurance companies noticed. Investors noticed. Shippers noticed. Reliability became part of the competitive positioning. Westinghouse formalized his success by founding what became the Westinghouse Air Brake Company, turning safety engineering into industrial enterprise. In later years, it would go on to many, many other industries. But in the beginning, over time, automatic braking shifted from innovation to expectation. And as other safety improvements, including Eli Janney's automatic coupler, came together, railroad risk began to decline in measurable ways. That coupler's a story for another day, we'll get to it. By 1893, Congress passed the Safety Appliance Act, requiring automatic brakes and couplers on interstate trains. What began as competitive advantage became legal standard. And the pattern's pretty clear. Railroads were already powerful, but once stopping became dependable, hesitation faded. As I mentioned, train length increased, freight moved with greater consistency, the rail system could attempt what almost always before was seen as reckless. And all that began on March 5, 1868, when George Westinghouse received the patent for the air brake. In doing so, he did more than reduce accidents. He changed what American railroads were willing to build. I'm Ron Trucks, and this is Business History, the podcast that finds the turning points behind the headlines. To hear more stories like this, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen. And if you're enjoying the stories, do me a favor. Please remember to subscribe and leave a quick review. It helps more people find the story behind the business. And if you're actually wanting to understand business better, without the fluff, without the buzzwords, or the MBA language, start by visiting us at businessdailypodcast.com.
If you're shopping while working, eating, or even listening to this podcast, then you know and love the thrill of a deal. But are you getting the deal and cash back? Rakuten shoppers do. They get the brands they love, savings, and cash back. And you can get it too. Start getting cash back at your favorite stores like Target, Sephora, and even Expedia. Stack sales on top of cash back and feel what it's like to know you're maximizing the savings. It's easy to use, and you get your cash back sent to you through PayPal or check. The idea is simple. Stores pay Rakuten for sending them shoppers, and Rakuten shares the money with you as cash back. Download the free Rakuten app or go to Rakuten.com to start saving today. It's the most rewarding way to shop. That's Rakuten, Rakuten.com.
Adobe Acrobat Studio, so brand new. Show me all the things PDFs can do. Do your work with ease and speed. PDF Spaces is all you need. Do hours of research in an instant with key insights from an AI assistant. Pick a template with a click. Now your prezzo looks super slick. Close that deal? Yeah, you won. Do that, doing that, did that, done. Now you can do that with Acrobat. Now you can do that with the all-new Acrobat. It's time to do your best work with the all-new Adobe Acrobat Studio.
Life is unpredictable, but preparing for the unexpected shouldn't be. Take ownership of your life planning with Policy Genius to help your loved ones have a financial safety net in case something happens to you. They offer life insurance policies starting at just $276 a year for $1 million in coverage. Don't wait for life to make other plans. Protect your family today. Head to PolicyGenius.com. That's PolicyGenius.com.